Welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. My name is Nancy, and today I'm here to continue with my 2021 predictions. This is part 2 of an unnumbered series. At this time, I'm attempting to set up my live stream. I would prefer to be able to set my live stream up prior to me going live. However, YouTube has not been allowing me to do so. So I'm left with no other choice but to do it at the onset of my lives. This usually takes about 5 minutes or so. So I'll begin with the predictions, most likely to be about the 5-minute mark. A timestamp will be added below this video after it is uploaded or published by YouTube. Let's see. Sound check. Sound check. Okay. Just a few more, excuse me, a few more things I need to look at to make sure that everything is correct behind the scenes. Once again, welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. As mentioned, my name is Nancy, and I'm here to continue with my 2021 predictions. This is a part 2 of an unnumbered series. If you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, you can do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. All the details that you need to order your own personal tarot reading is below this live stream. I ask you to please like, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hello, everybody. Okay. I am currently trying to learn how to do a video in up under an hour. So today I'm still trying. We're going to see. Y'all know, if you follow me, you know that I have the tendency to be long-winded. So I'm going to try to read directly from my notes and hopefully breeze straight through. Okay, how can I say this? 2021. The energies that I'll be covering are between January and March. What I have interpreted to occur, that is to say I expect to occur between January and March, is due to the astrological energies of that time, of those time periods. In part one, I went through the year and I assigned each month of the year of 2021 its own predictive term. So I'll be using those predictive terms as I move through and share what I expect to happen in 2021. January, I labeled the predictive term I labeled it with is compliance. If you want to understand what I mean by compliance, why I chose that particular term, you can always go to part one to get an understanding. So, as a direct result of the astrological energies of, did I say July? I always say July. If I say July, pardon me, I mean January. As a direct result of the astrological energies of January, I expect the following to occur. I'm going to read my notes and then I'll clarify. The spiritual gift or superhuman power, however you like to label it, of intuition is activated and energized. What am I saying? The astrological energies that will be present in the month of January is going to compel people, the people of humanity, during that time period, to have a heightened state of intuition. I go on and read. The people become aware of their own potential to tap into and express darkness or light energies or forces. What do I mean? I'm saying in January, the energies that will be governing us will compel our intuition to be sparked, to be ignited, to begin, to be activated. And as a direct result, the people, you know, each of us that create humanity during the time period, will be able to really understand our potential to, you know, participate in dark energies, to execute dark energies. Example of dark energies is like jealousy, or are like jealousy, anger, aggression, being an antagonist in different ways. We become aware of that. Why is that relevant for us to know? Well, it's relevant because many of us don't know that we have a ugly side, so to say, or that we have a dark essence within us. We can be very angry, vengeful, jealous, hateful, player haters, those type of things. Anyway, in January, the energies prompt us to have such a heightened intuition. We get to really know ourselves. We get to see just how ugly we are, or it can be, and the potential that is attached to our ability to be like vengeful and what we can do. Or it depends on who you are. You become your intuition can lead you to discover or realize that you work in light, that you are truly quote unquote saint. You know, that you are more loving, supportive, kind, and gentle. Or the details are specific to you and who you are on soul level. And so once we become aware of our potential, our tendencies, it says that many people will lack trust in others because they now are aware of others' potential intentions and capabilities. Many people will experience jealousy, mistrustfulness, and we will be skeptical, uptight, and suspicious of others. So what am I saying? Let me summarize that up. I think this is a period that I could summarize it. What I was saying up. I'm saying, hey, the astrological energies that are present in January of 2021 compel the people of the world during that time period uh, for their intuition to be heightened, to be sparked, to be activated. Once the intuition is activated, we become like hypersensitive to who we are. You know, whether you are a person that is works more with the dark energy or a person that works more with the light energy. What ends up occurring, as an example, is a person that realizes that they do have this dark energy and the potential to execute dark works into the world, like anger, jealousy, vengefulness, and all that it brings with it. A person becomes somewhat like paranoid about other people around them, like saying, "Ooh, if I'm capable of doing those type of things, then that other person must be." You know, we're in the same proximity to each other. I got to keep my eye on them. They become very, very suspicious. That's just an example. Okay. Continuing on, reading my notes. I got to do this in under an hour. Is what we can expect in January of 2021 as a direct result of the astrological energies is we can look forward to provocative artwork and music, as in support of some social movement, such as social justice art. I quote a description of what I mean by social justice art from Wikipedia, and it is to rise critical consciousness, promoting taking action against the oppressive element to humanity or to a specific group or to oneself. What am I saying? The energies of January 2021 is going to spark a level of creativity in different varieties of artists. Whether a person uses their medium to artistically express themselves through music, painting, sculpture, whatever the case may be, the works will be um, carry a theme, and the theme will be like of a social movement, of what, informing the people about something that may be oppressive or limiting them in some way, and a call to action. Those type of artworks. Let's see what else I have here. The rise of new private charities may emerge, and or promotion to raise funds, to call workers, to call on workers, and consciousness. What am I saying? I'm saying as a direct result of the energies that are present in January 2021, there is going to be new charities that emerge, I do believe. And these charities, most likely, I mean, it could be established charities calling for workers to come in needing help, and or to raise funds because they might not have as much funding available to help those that are needy. But I personally also believe that they're going to be the creation or rise of, what do you call it? I can't think of the legal category, but new charities. And these new charities, I think, are going to arise from the public sector. And these charities will, of course, what? Be trying to bring consciousness to some ill in the world or some need in the world. These charities will be here go YouTube again, glitching my video. Asking for funds to help, again, what, help the underdog in some way, and to call on workers. I don't know what I just said, y'all, so I might have repeated myself again, because from my perspective, my video is glitching. Hi, Egyptians, how are you? All is well today. How about yourself? I'm gonna try not to let YouTube get on my nerves, but you know, hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's see. What else will take place as a direct result of January 2021's energy? It says in my notes that a ruler is determined. That is to say, who will be our standing president. It will be determined, finalized, settled. Let me go on, read my notes. It says the political and economic ideology is settled. And says the ruler takes control and moves to amend, reform, write in, and enforce laws. I do believe personally, I keep up with the current events, so I know what's actually going on in the political arena. But I feel, based on what I could pick up through the astrological alignments and the energies, to the best of my ability, because I am an amateur astrologer, is that our current president-elect Joe Biden and his Vice President Ms. Harris will take office as planned. And as a direct result, of course, there are going to be people that are upset with that. And so I do foresee some rises and protests and just overall uprising because they don't agree. All right, at this time, I'm going to move forward into the month of February. And February is a very critical month to me based on my findings. As a direct result of the energies that are present around February of 2020, I foresee there being secrets and these secrets being revealed. Oh, I forgot to offer the predictive term that I offered in part 1. For the month of February, the predictive term is commission. If you want to understand what I mean by commission, feel free to do what? Locate part 1 and watch that particular video. I really hope that you all are not experiencing all of the digital glitches that I am from my perspective. I'm happy to hear that you're doing well, Egyptians. I'm hoping that you're not getting the digital glitches that I am. I'm going to stop before I move on with February and talk a little bit about YouTube practices. Currently, well, in most recent times, I have noticed that there is an increased delay between what I'm saying or presenting to you as the audience and what you are actually perceiving. It's a big time lapse, a significant, not big, but significant time lapse. It has to be at least 15 to 20 seconds. That's a great gap in transmission. And so it is my belief, because these are all my beliefs and my findings and my experiences, that the powers over various forms of media are, I'm jumping the gun, are, what do they call it, shadow banding people that deliver messages that they don't want out. Okay, I digress from that, and I move back to cover what I believe is going to occur as a direct result of the energies present February 2020. And I'm going to read my notes. And these notes, this message, this part of the message, is something that has continued to come up in my studies over the last maybe 3 months. It reoccurred again when I looked into February. And so I'm going into great detail for the month of February. Take what I offer you with a grain of salt. As in time, we will know if I am really picking up on the messages and interpreting correctly or not. This is something that you will be able to fact check, you know, in time, in a very short period of time, in months actually. And you can use that as evidence to if I am doing my work correctly or not. That is to say, if I'm a psychic, a medium, and a occultist, and all those kind of things. Okay, February, the month of commission. I foresee possible business deals and or dealings and projects surrounding nuclear energy will take place. The key people involved are Bill Gates and Donald Trump. I'm going to read my notes and then I'll clarify and summarize. The fiscal budget for 2021 created by the Donald Trump administration granted $80 million to the Department of Energy, which supports, I guess, Bill Gates' traveling wave nuclear reactor. Okay, I'll just come back. The last thing I was sharing, was that the fiscal year budget offered by the Donald Trump administration granted $80 million to fund Bill Gates' project. Other parties involved with this project are Terra Power and GE Hitachi, and and it's one other company that I forgot to look up. I missed this part of my note, but I did talk about it already in previous lives. It's a particular company hired to put on a show of this compact travel wave nuclear reactor that Bill Gates solely funded. And I can't think of the name of that company. I have to go back and retrieve the name and offer it during another live stream. Trying to keep this one in up under an hour. Please do what? Ride this wave with me. So what else do I have? And it is possible. I'm not quite sure. I have to keep my eye on this these dealings. But it's possible that China may still be involved with this project as well. Their nuclear, I don't even have the name here. I've also shared the China-based nuclear plant that was once set to be involved in this project. And I say it like that because the time came where Donald Trump's administration blocked Bill Gates and his crew from sending the nuclear design over to China for them to help them process it. Okay, I'll come back to that. What do I want to say? Now, I'm going to refer you to a site, and then I'm going to refer you to a site, then I'll clarify or summarize what I just shared. The site that I went to, that you can go to, and you can access and read some information about this very subject matter, is energy-central.com/C/Bill-Gates-nuclear-option. The article that is at that site was written October 19th, 2020 at 10:57 a.m. Let me finish talking about some energies that will be present in February. It's the energy of relationships, attachments, connections, business contracts, and how a power struggle that has uh, been in play for some time draws to an end, and the dynamics of that partnership is established. Okay. Now, let me try to summarize all that I just shared. As a direct result of the energies present during the month of February in the new year of 2021, I believe that Donald Trump, although, let me stop. I have been talking about Bill Gates investing in a nuclear reactor for several live streams. And the reason why I began to share that is because of previous astrological studies. Doing previously astrological studies, I found a clue. And the clue was that affirmative action was terminated in the state of Idaho. At that time, relative to whatever messages I was delivering, I said that stood out like a sore thumb. What stood out like a sore thumb? That affirmative action was abolished in Idaho. After more studies, it took me back to Idaho over and over again until it finally, the breadcrumbs led me to a testing site, a nuclear reactor testing site, that the breadcrumbs continued and led me to Bill Gates, and it led me to him finding out that he was solely funding a prototype. It's called the Traveling Wave Nuclear Reactor, and it's supposed to be compact. And so I've just been following these breadcrumbs. As mentioned earlier, when I studied the astrological energies from February, it brought it right back up. But it picks up in the storyline of Bill Gates and a nuclear reactor and everything at this point where I still left stuff out that I need to add. Anyway, I have to go back. I have to go back and talk about how it was in prior lives. I got to this point in their story, that storyline, where it talked about Bill Gates' prototype. I don't know if that's the correct terminology or not, being final, and now it's time for him to put on the show. That's to see how it works, to show the big dogs how it works, and how effective or efficient it is. During that time period, that's when I discovered that the budget, the 2021 budget, established by the Trump administration, allotted an extra $80 million to the Department of Nuclear Energy. And I talked about it in detail in that live stream. I don't even recall the name of that live stream to refer you over to it. But it may be about 3 or 4 live streams ago. So they are in order of when I did them, if you want to go check it out. It also talked about the institution that Bill Gates entrusted to create that physical, prototype of the reactor. Over time, I end up finding out about how Bill Gates and his team met with some red tape here in the United States, and that red tape was that Donald Trump stopped Bill Gates from being able to send his project over to China. He wanted to send it over to China, number one, because all the red tape and bureaucracy here in the United States, and number two, the price. The price. It was more expensive to continue here in the United States. Donald Trump and them stopped it. The reason why I keep going back over Donald Trump involvement relative to this traveling wave nuclear reactor, or this TWR, is because Donald Trump, it seems like he keeps flipping back and forth or something from my perspective. Now, Donald Trump is a Gemini. So he has the tendency, of course, to flip back and forth, as Gemini is represented by the twin. So he flipped back and forth. Gemini is mutable, so he can change directions at any time. I'm going to try to make this make sense. So as the standing president of the United States during the time period that Bill Gates wanted to send it over to China and stuff like that, Donald Trump blocked it. That's one position. He blocked it. But before Donald Trump is to leave out of office, and during the period in which he was to had to create this budget for 2021, you know, he also was very aware of what was taking place and allocated $80 million to the Department of Nuclear Nuclear Energy. He directed $80 million to the Department of Nuclear Energy. That $80 million, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember everything, is funds that are supposed to be used so that the company that was hired to put on the show to show the capabilities of this reactor, so they could get paid. It's funding that. So that's Mr. Trump flipping back on the other side. In one way, he said we ain't sending it to China. Maybe he was trying to keep his claws in it, or keep it close to America without having foreign interaction or involvement or investment in this project. Because if this project pans out well, that's got to be trillions of dollars. Because we're talking about energy feeding the whole United States and so much more. So, okay, first he blocks it and says it can't go over there. Nope, we're going to keep it home. Then he adds funds to the Department of Nuclear Energy so that it can have extra funding. Another, I guess, fun fact is that I'm trying to remember everything in order as much as possible. The article that I referred you to, the EnergyCentral.com article, that was written October 19th, 20 of this year. Well, in that article, it talked about how, as far as this traveling wave nuclear reactor, and the budget it would take to really get it off the ground, it's no way they say they could know exactly how much is needed to get it off the ground, because it's a first time endeavor. I gotta inject something else here, right here. It's a lot of first time endeavors taking place, first time projects. This nuclear wave reactor, trying to get that up, first time. And then another first time ever is when it has to do with the VID. I mean, the VID and the VAX. As the VAX is composed of mRNA. We've talked about that in previous videos as well, which is a messenger RNA. I'm not going to go in details. You can locate the video before this and the one before that one. They all fall in line. They all published in line, in which I go in detail talking about that. But this first time endeavor, first time use ever. So I withdraw, because I just interjected that there. I was talking about, Donald Trump going back and forth, doing that Gemini thing. So in the month of February, the astrological energy suggests that it is possible that, I didn't finish my, okay. The article, I was talking about the article. The article stated that there was additional funding needed. Now, Bill Gates put up the first lump sum to, get the development on the way to create the um, the prototype. I don't know the exact terms, but the prototype. And now he has a working model. However, they need more funding. So based on the article, Bill Gates says, well, I'll put up another $1 billion or something like that. And he expects to raise another $1 billion or so, whatever it was, and to find funding, you know, from different private sectors. Is what the article said, something like that. You can go check it out yourself. Um, and so right there, when the article talks about Bill Gates moving to raise funds to fund the continuation with the development of this TWR, Donald Trump comes into mind, as Donald Trump is a billionaire and a businessman, entrepreneur. He's going to jump on top of any potentially beneficial project. And new, clean, nuclear energy is a great opportunity. Why would he miss it? So now I guess I can go back to the energies. And so the energies suggest to me, remember, take what I share with you with a grain of salt. These are my predictions. This is one that you will definitely be able to check. You might not be able to check January's prediction because it is more of a spiritual prediction where it talks about how people are going to be what? More intuitive. They're going to be more in tune with a star planet themselves, you know, and the potential they have for either darkness or light. And as a direct result, understand what another person is capable of. That might be something that you can't check. It just depends on if you are sensitive enough and also honest with yourself, if you can or cannot fact check me about that. So, still dealing with February, because February was real interesting to me. You know, this is something that, again, you can fact check in time, in a very short, brief time. So, it seems, based on the astrological energies, that it is possible that Donald Trump may be doing business with Bill Gates. Possibly. We're going to see. Donald Trump may be one of those people, one of the people that invest in the continuation of the successful development of this traveling wave nuclear reactor. You know, that's big money. So he may be one of the ones that invest. I say this because the astrological energy suggested. And it truly points out these two people. What two people? Bill Gates and Donald Trump. What Bill Gates is moving to do relative to creating a new source of nuclear power and have that nuclear power fuel the world, or the United States primarily. But I think it's going to go abroad as well. But right now, the United States. It's going to be life-changing to the citizens of the United States. I don't want to put anything negative out. I'm going to add some final thoughts at the end. But anyway, it's going to really be transformative for different reasons. And that has to do with the society's infrastructure and the deliverance of electricity and different things like that, and heat to the populace, and the cost and different things like that. That's going to be a whole nother video. So the astrological energies suggest, if I'm reading them correctly, that, how can I say this? Donald Trump, in at least the last 4 years, has been the king of the hill. He's been the U.S. president. And so he has held much power and executed much power over 4 years. We all know at this current time that Donald Trump doesn't want to let go of office. That's a whole nother video as well. But it seems to me, based on the astrological energies, that he will release office. He will release office. He has other business interests, and I think that one of the other business interests or endeavors that he's interested in investing in is what the nuclear reactor and energy. And Donald Trump, in relationship to Bill Gates, Donald Trump is not just, how can I say, Donald Trump is just not relinquishing his authoritative or rulership power as president. He's also going to be releasing or relinquishing his power to Bill Gates. Because when Donald Trump, if I'm getting this right, interacts with or enters some type of business partnership relative to Bill Gates' project, Bill Gates in that case is the king of the hill. And so Donald Trump becomes subordinate or a supporter or an investor, but not the king of the hill. So I foresee that happening. Again, that is something that we will see soon and very soon. Now, in previous lives, when I covered this subject matter, when it first came up in the stars, I said, hey, y'all, this reactor, this prototype, I call it prototype because what? I don't know the right terms, is up and running. It's functioning. And they've hired, Bill Gates has hired this company to put on the show for the big dogs. I said, so that suggests to me that there might be an outage, a power outage. It might be very temporary, but when the power comes back up, it is coming back up, if they're successful, ran by this traveling wave nuclear reactor. This is something that the populace may not be aware of, because what? A lot of people are afraid when it comes to nuclear reactors. And that is the case because of previous events or accidents or incidents that have occurred, like Chernobyl and different things. What is it called? Fukushima or something like that. Those type of breakdowns or nuclear explosions that contaminate the land. So I said I was going to change my little, say my little tidbit for the end. I'm hoping, I'm reaching here, but I'm hoping that this doesn't occur, that there's some type of failure when they try to put on this performance or something that's going on. So what am I trying to say? I don't clearly know if they're just going to be establishing their business partnership in the month of February and getting the funding to keep moving forward and setting the schedule for when each phase in the development of getting this nuclear wave reactor up and running. You know, I don't know if they're just going through that process or if they're actually going to execute it in February. You know, really try to use the thing, and it's possible that it fails, creating some type of major incident that's life-changing to the people in the area, affects the people in the area negatively. I hope not. And I add that little negative end to it because of the astrological, the positioning of the planetary bodies and their relationship and all that, the astrological alignment. Because Scorpio is present and highly emphasized. And Scorpio corresponds, one of the things it corresponds with is death. And Scorpio can also be connected with Mars and Pluto. And there's a lot of 12th house activity too. And explosions. It does, Pluto corresponds with nuclear power. And so it may be a failure in the use of that system. But anyway, we'll see. I tried to go into as much detail as possible right there in order to really put myself out there and to see how professional I am, how accurate I am. We'll see. The only thing I see wrong it's some, I'll say this. There's some things that I see wrong about these various business dealings that are taking place amongst the billionaires. And it is that it does not have the common person in mind. It is about bringing them more money, power, and success and prosperity. These people like Bill Gates, and if I'm correct about Donald Trump joining him in that business endeavor, and even Dr. Fauci. All of these people are on extreme ego trips, and those that develop the vids and are promoting and endorsing the vids are all on extreme ego trips and don't have any concern truly the way I see it about the people. If you follow me, you know that I talk about and I preach about a new world order being established. It's not because it has been trending for years. It is because my studies have led me to know that just we just crossed over into the threshold of a new world order. At this time, many of us can't see that. And I understand why. Until a person is totally oppressed by the system and controlled and overseen by the system, many people won't know. But all the evidence exists that proves that we are within the new world order. The catch is, the tricky part is that we just entered over into the threshold of this new world order. The powers that be, those people that are, those billionaires that are ego tripping, are still setting up the system. Everything from 5G, the grid associated with 5G that interlinks the whole globe to one super brain that I deem God manifest here on earth. And it is, again, not for the people. It is a one world system. It is a total totalitarian system. It is world domination. And y'all know, if you follow me, I believe that plays into the spiritual aspect of our existence. I digress. I'm going back to my notes to continue. Here I go glitching and stuff. I'm going back and I'm going to, hi Camille, how are you? Hi Jill. You say goodbye, Trump. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Now, not to say he ain't going to play no tricks, because I doubt if he done. You know, again, he's a Gemini, and I'm not bashing on Geminis. I'm talking about that particular Gemini. It can be a trickster. And, you know, Geminis will move to get the last word. And so, you know, there you go. He's going to do what he's going to do. Okay. All right. So I'm going to continue to read my notes as they are. And then I'll clarify what I'm talking about. Well, at this time, I have a information that I'm interjecting, so it might not flow naturally in this presentation. And what I'm about to share is something that I experienced today. Today, right before I went live, it was a few hours prior before this live, I saw a video suggestion. And I clicked on that video suggestion. And it was at this channel. Not my channel. This channel I'm about to cite here on YouTube. And the channel is called 4cyclesoflife.com. I repeat, the name of the YouTube channel is 4 cycles with an S of life.com. And the content creator on this channel was sharing a message, a video of a person that claims that they are a nurse, a registered nurse. The title of the video was Nurse Message, in parentheses, don't take the shot. The woman that was speaking on the video with a face mask on in the beginning and later removed it, She again stakes the claim that she was a registered nurse. I have no way of proving that. And she says she's a registered nurse in the state of Tennessee. She did mention the city, but I missed it. She said her full name, and I know her last name was Miss Mitchell. Anywho, she testifies that she, took the shot, the vac for the vid. And it was required of her because she's in the medical field. She claims she's a registered nurse. She says for the first 3 days, she was okay, no problems. Then she removes her mask. One side of her face was, kind of disfigured. Slooping or sloping or whatever you call it. Lumpy. I'm not even sure I'm saying that right. Sure that I'm saying it right. And she said 3 days later, her face was drooping. So when she went to the doctor, they diagnosed her with Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy. I have not moved to research to find out what Bell's palsy is, but you can feel free to do so. Now, when this content creator opened up his video that I just talked about, he said, hey, people have been trying to share this video, and the powers that be, those that govern media, doesn't want it out. And I cannot confirm or validate this content creator here on YouTube, nor the story that he shared, but it was an interesting story nonetheless. So I'm talking about it. But he said, hey, every time somebody put this out, they snatching it down immediately. He says, I'm trying to embed it into my videos so they just can't snatch it down. Okay. So anyway, right before I went live, I said, I'm going to share, this story. It's up to whomever hears what I'm talking about and hears about the story to validate it. I may try to do so myself a little later. But sure enough, when I went back to look up the video to find out the name and to share it, it was gone. It was gone. It wasn't even a 30-minute, it might have been 45-minute turnaround from the period in which I viewed it and when I went to go back to get the information and try to share it. The video had totally been removed. And it said this when I did finally find the page again. How did I find the page again? Well, I hadn't did many other searches or anything, so I was able to go back, the back arrow, back twice, and then the video was still there. And I was able to get the name of the video and to retrieve the information that I shared with you in this video. And anywho, I said, before I did that, I had another page open. And I went to my YouTube account, and I went to my history. And it wasn't there in my history. Now, mind you, I had only watched maybe 1 or 2 other things after that. It wasn't even my history. I said, they said they keep removing it. I said, okay, how can I get back to this video? I said, back it up, back it up. I located it, retrieved the information. I said, go ahead and refresh this page. When I refreshed the page, guess what? The video wasn't there anymore. What read on the screen in place of that video was this, quoting from YouTube and what it has posted in the screen section. It says that that particular video, has been removed for violating YouTube's terms of service. I just really thought that was interesting. And it plays into what I've seen for the energies of March. At this time, I'm going to move forward and read my notes. And these notes have to do with March of 2021. These are my predictions. I made these predictions as a direct result of the astrological energies that will be governing over us. The predictive term for March is endorsement. If you want to understand what I'm talking about or referring to when I make the statement endorsement, you can find part 1 of this unnumbered series of my 2021 predictions. Before I go ahead, I got to go and see if, and one of them still live, but an awful lot of glitching. This world we live in is interesting. And the powers are interesting. Okay. I'm trying to see how long I've been on here. I've been trying to be up under an hour. Oh, 55 minutes. I might make it. I might make it. Let's see. Okay. Without delay, March 2021, the month of endorsement. I have written here the .govs. These are my, this is me coding. Okay. The .govs, various branches inform the people. Not only do they inform the people, they also inform the various social constructs on new and revised, instructions. An example of what I mean are like guidelines. They inform us about these various guidelines. Now, this information or these announcements may not come flooding in boldly, where we can see them, but they'll be reported here on the news, here and there on the news. They'll be reported in what they call it, like the political, what they call broadcast and different things like that, Another report is an example of the type of reporting that I think will be taking place, or the announcements that will be taking place are or is about the fiscal budget. The fiscal budget has originally been created by the Trump administration. I don't know if that budget is required to stand or not. Maybe it will be recalculated, or the funds be reallocated in some way. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I think the fiscal budget may be a subject matter that is covered in some form or fashion. When I say some form or fashion, I mean they may not get on TV and say, "Oh, we're talking about the fiscal budget for 2021." They may not even use that terminology. They may just go into speaking, saying, "Hey, this particular sector is going not have as much funding, or they're having cuts, or they're laying people off, or whatever the case may be." Another thing that the general populace should become aware of is that many times the announcements that are received don't get to everybody. There's not out publicly. Many announcements are issued directly from a particular social construct to the people that are doing business with them and or involved with them, that have some type of contracts or dealing with them. An example of what I mean: you may belong to a certain HMO that I don't. So when these changes in policies and procedures and guidelines go into play, they're not going to inform me. I'm not going to hear about it possibly. Why? Because I'm not doing business with that particular HMO. Talking about healthcare, but if you have that particular HMO that has these revisions, then you are going to get in your mailbox a letter that discusses these revisions and guidelines and different things like that. See, that is a way, a trick of the powers, and to keep the masses from sharing in knowing the truth. It keeps the masses from being able to see from the same perspective. It's a trick. Anywho, I continue with my reading, and we're almost done. We're almost done. I'm going to read fast. Okay. All right, so I continue reading. It says instructions and or orders and or declarations disclosed to the people, social constructs, most likely don't apply to them. Them who? I'm talking about the powers over the distribution of these announcements and instructions. They don't even apply to them. They don't adhere to what they are imposing upon the people. They don't even adhere to it. So we can expect that. And with that, that is to say that these people then have no compassion or empathy for the people that they're imposing whatever guidelines upon. You know, they ain't in the same boat. They ain't got to do what we do. They just telling you what you got to do. And I want to make a video covering that particular area or subject. And the subject or area I'm talking about is how there is a separation that exists, broad separation between the powers and the people. The powers are always deciding what's good for the people, putting laws in place and then imposing it upon the people. But the powers themselves are not subjected or subjugated to those laws or um, instructions or um, I can't think of the term or statement, but I'm sure you get what I mean. Just what? Ride the wave with me. I'm going somewhere with this. We almost done. And so that is a concern to me because that broad gap, that that what's it called? That's the word I want to use. I can't figure it out. I ain't gonna worry about it. That's an issue that we who the general populace, the people, will allow a few that are, you know, highly intelligent, innovative, possibly billionaires, able to work together on a common goal or on a project, which is namely us, to allow them to tell us what to do. You know, you don't want your husband or your wife to tell you what to do, or you don't want your parents to tell you what to do, but the powers get to tell you what to do, and you do little to nothing about it. And there's a reason that we do little or nothing about it. It is because what? We're not seeing our physical worldly experience from the same perspective. That is to say, some of us broke and some of us not. If you ain't broke, you say, long as it ain't me. Long as I can make them ends meet. I ain't ruffling no feathers. You know, if it is a person that takes a vac versus a person that don't. A person that don't say, long as it ain't me. I ain't suffering from Bell palsy. I'm okay. You know, I'm still healthy. You know, and so it is we have, what I'm saying is that we have to be more mindful. I didn't say that right, but we have to be more mindful that we're being manipulated into not demanding things, policies, rules, regulations, instructions, economics fall in the favor of the people. I'm going to let it go. Hopefully let my video stay up. I don't think I've said anything wrong. Anywho, continuing reading. It says notices, you know, instructions, rules, guidelines, various notices may cover difficult, delicate, and or sensitive subject matters in what? March of 2021. Or as a direct result, this will occur. These notices, these difficult to talk about subject matters will arise as a direct result of the astrological energies present in March of 2021. And so, as I've shared, examples of such discussions or notices could be about budgets and funding distribution. It could also include restrictions, such as in services, etc., as a direct result of the VID infection or VID deaths. Restrictions decreased in funding to various sectors. What am I saying there? I'm saying that it is possible, well, based on the astrological energies, I do not pick up that the vid is just going to disappear. I do not. We're still going to have to work our way through this pandemic and the effects of it. And as a direct result, as we move forward and try to get back to business as normal, or as the business under the new normal, uh, there's going to be restrictions. You know, the restrictions will rise and fall. I do believe in March they may increase about with the restrictions, and the restrictions can be imposing mask or mandating mask in some way. That's just an example. It could be about pushing that, and it also is the details to what type of restrictions will be put in place during this period is directly related to whatever sector um, is is involved. Again, the people are not seeing this experience from the same perspective. What I may be mandated to do in order to try to get back to or get to the new normal is not what you may be mandated to do in order to get back to the new normal. That is to say, me going to the grocery store, there may be specific requirements such as face mask and still the suggestion to wash your hands, sanitize, and do those things. But when it comes to like the healthcare industry, their mandates may be what? Not only face masks, but also to have the vax and different things like that. And other, you know, restrictions may be put in place in the month of March. And if there are an increase in deaths, certain words I try not to say because of YouTube, we will see these restrictions rise. And that's between most likely February and March. And I only say that, I reach to say that because, again, I go back to the scorpionic energy of February. And the scorpionic energy is directly related to what? Death or life and death situations that can occur. So, the last few notes that I have, oh gosh, I'm not going to make it. I'm just read real fast. There will be in the month of March market reports about the growth of the market. We've been having those and we'll continue to have those. We've always had those. What might be listed on the markets will, I'm sure they're going to try to spotlight it in a good light. But I, from an amateur perspective, could not get any details. The next thing is there's going to be a renegotiation of contracts with various social constructs. We have covered what social constructs are, and so I'm not going to go in detail. You can locate any previous live stream in which I talk about social constructs. So there will be a renegotiation of contracts with various social constructs. That is talking about basically the funding to sustain those various types of social constructs and or the various types of infrastructure we have. What am I saying? I'm saying that in the month of March, it seems to me that it is possible. I'm not the crispiest cookie in the job. I'm not a political whiz or anything like that, or a financial whiz. I don't hold any accolades, no degrees, no credentials, or nothing. This is just me sharing, talking about it from my perspective and what I perceive. Is that it is possible, but I don't know, that budget that was established by Donald Trump and his administration for 2021, it may not stand as is. If it is possible, I think that it's maybe tweaked a little bit, or it could just be that, again, the details that are present in that budget, that original budget, will begin to be shared. You know, what do I mean? I'm saying, hey, a lot of the populace don't go pull up and look at the budget, the fiscal budget for any year. You know, so slowly again, the powers that be inform the people of the changes that will take place in the various agencies and programs. When we looked at the budget for 2021, it showed that there was a decrease in funds almost across the border. The only places that there was not a decrease, but yet an increase, was in that Department of Nuclear Energy and anything that had to do with, I'm going to say, um, war. It was the Department of Defense. Yeah, it was the Department of Defense, Veteran Affairs, and I say they gave more money to the Veterans Affairs because they didn't want those trained people, citizens, to turn on them or cause any type of obstacle. So they're gonna take care of them, add a little more to them, make sure they get what they need. And then it was the Nuclear Department of Defense, and it was one other, I think, place. Anyway, everything else is taking a decrease. So that could just be the announcements. Again, those announcements will go out directly from any particular social construct to the people that participate within their program. Meaning, not all of us will know all of the details, only that which applies to us. So, anywho, anyway, I was talking about the renegotiation of social contracts. Renegotiation of social contracts is like from one fiscal year to another. Like the Department of Housing may have gotten so many funds in the previous year or years, and this year it is a new budget again that reflects a decrease in funding. And because of that decrease in funding, now the program has to be rewritten, reorganized in order to decide what is most critical, what's most essential about their program will receive the funding, and other parts that are not deemed as essential or helpful may be done away with. These are the messages I'm talking about are going to be delivered, and or they will, it'll be announcement that there's a reduction in whatever that agency delivers to the people. Okay. Other announcements, other social constructs social constructs that will be, messages will be delivered to, likely, is like the airline industry as well as the postal service. Okay. I continue reading. Continued and increased closures of once popular stores, shops, and restaurants will continue to steadily occur. Let's see, an announcement of, and there'll also be announcements of those favored institutions, those essential institutions. And those announcements could be about funding and or how the funds are expected to be distributed once these different institutions or organizations and or agencies get their funding. And how there's what is it said? Dictating how it might be a dictation to how they can use the funds. That's what I'm trying to say. An example of such institutions that I'm talking about like hospitals and jails and other social constructs that are deemed essential. The month of March I do believe is going to be a month that the powers, the governors and presidents and whoever else holds seats of power will be doing a lot of pep talking. Going to be doing a lot of pep talking to the people. I think it's a month of motivational talks. They're going to try to put the mind. They're going to suggest that if you put your mind to it, you can do it. They're going to say you can do it. And they're going to say, somebody's going to end up probably saying this. I'd have heard something else I didn't suggested would be saying, and it tripped me out. But we're going to hear somebody say this, I do believe. It says, we can make it through. as long as we work together. This is a statement that I believe is going to come through in the month of March, the month of, what's this, a month of endorsement, is that we can make it through as long as we work together. Let's see. And these speakers, these various speakers or announcers, will move to minimize the people's inquisitiveness or inquisitive nature. You know, because people are concerned about different things, and a lot of people are considered conspiracy theorists and things like that. So they're going to move to minimize our inquisitive nature. They're also going to distract people from their own personal concerns or concerns overall. And then there's also going to be an extinguishing and underhanded punishment. Let me say that again. I'm trying to read my notes. They're a mess, y'all. Ride the wave with me, if you will. They will be extinguishing conspiracies. They're going to extinguish them. And they're also going to punish those that propagate any works that are deemed conspiratorial and or detrimental to the recovery of the well-being of the people and or the economy. Let's see. Now, it was something I was going to say about the powers, the speakers, the announcers, the influencers. Oh, what time is it? Okay, I'm still down. What was it about them? Oh, going back to we can make it through as long as we work together. Again, these types of speeches or commentaries, these very motivational talks are planned and they are a trick. This is not what I was going to say. Anyway, can't think of what I was going to say. They're a plan, they're a trick in order to try to keep the herd moving in the direction that the powers that be want. And that is to say, to continue to move into and through this new world order that is still somewhat under construction. But that's not what I was going to say. Let's see. The last things I have written here is, I think that's it, y'all. One last thing, and then I'm done. Thank you for coming here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and More, and allowing me, Nancy, to share my second part of my predictions for 2021. I ask you at this time to please like, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And remember, if you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, because you know I'm a tarot reader, then you can do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. All the details that you need to order your own personal tarot reading is below this video. Thank you. Last thing. For the month of March, as a direct result of the astrological energies that are present in the month of March, this is a spiritual message. And it says, spiritual. You do not know the true intent of the power, but it is to usher the people into the underworld. I'm closing with that, but I guess I can kind of summarize what I mean. Well, it's kind of like it said. The intentions of the powers, everything that the powers are doing, from leading the masses to experience this reality at this point in time in the history of humanity from all of these different perspectives, and not being able to see from another's perspective or stand in another's shoes is one of the tools, tricks, or tactics that the powers are using to usher the people into the underworld. All of the powers that are on this extreme ego trip and creating these and some of these advancements in technology and getting them up and running are all that actually have the potential to be detrimental to humanity or the population of any demographic area. All is to what? Lead the people into the underworld. And as mentioned, all of these motivational talks that are going to take place is all to do what? Uh, Blind you to the fact that these powers are leading the people into the underworld. Until next time. Bye.